Welcome to our lesson on relations and functions. In this lesson, we're going to look at solving composite functions. So now a composite function is simply an expression of a function in terms of another function. So normally what happens is that it could be given 2 or 3 different functions, and then we can generate a composite function by expressing one function in terms of the other. We're going to look at 1 or 2 examples just to see how we solve composite functions. So let's say we've been given 2 functions, f of x and g of x. Let's say f of x is equal to 2x minus 3, and we have g of x which is let's say x squared plus 1. So with these 2 different functions in the same variable x, let's say we find the composite functions f of g of x, that is the notation for a composite function, and we also try to get g of f of x. We can also get an extension on the composite function, where, for example, we get f of g of, let's say, -1. We'll see how to interpret that. So this is how we get the composite function. In order to get f of gx from the 2 functions that we've been given, it simply means we are starting off with the function f of x. Okay, it means we are starting off with the function f of x, which is given to us as 2x minus 3. Now in the function f of x, we are going to substitute the value of x with the function g of x. In the function f of x, we are going to substitute the value of x, or the variable x, we substitute it with the function g of x. So that is the meaning of a composite function. It simply means we get f of gx by substituting the function into the variable of the other function. So we want to write the function f of x, and we are going to substitute where there is x in the function f of x. Where there is x, we're going to put the function g of x, which is given as x squared plus 1. This is our 2x. This is our 2x in f of x. This is our expression for f of x. And 2x minus 3 is the function f of x. So what we have simply done is we have substituted the variable x with the function g of x. That is the meaning of a composite function f of g of x. So what we simply do here is we expand and simplify. So when we expand, we have 2 times x squared is 2x squared plus 2 times 1 is 2. Then it continues with minus 3, which means that composite function is equal to 2x squared minus 1. So we can do the same for g of f of x. So to get g of f of x, it simply means we are starting off with the function g of x. So the function g of x is given to us as x squared plus 1. So to get the composite g of f of x, it simply means in the function g of x, which is given to us as x squared plus 1, the x is going to be replaced by the function f of x, which is given as 2x minus 3. So we have, this is our x, and the x is being squared, which means it will be 2x minus 3 squared. Then the function continues with plus 1, because we have only substituted the value of x in the function g of x with the function f of x. So we simplify this by expanding 2x minus 3 squared. This should give us 4x squared. 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Then we have the function continues with plus 1. So of course the 9 and 1 can be added to simplify, meaning we have 4x squared minus 12x plus 10. So that will be the function that we have as a composite g of f of x. We can of course simplify this by factoring out a 2, so that we have 2x squared minus 6x plus 5. This is just a step to simplify, otherwise there's no harm in leaving it at 4x squared minus 12x plus 10. So that is the composite function g of f of x. And so we can get an expression to find the value of f of g of negative 1. So what f of g of negative 1 means is that we are getting it from solving f of g of x, which is what we got earlier. From this function we are going to substitute the value of x. So we have found f of g of x to be 2x squared minus 1. So in this function we are going to substitute, where there is x we put negative 1. That's what it means. So it means f of g x, f of g negative 1, f of g negative 1, it simply means we are going to substitute that in the function. So we'll have 2, where there is x we put negative 1 squared, then minus 1. So 2 times negative 1 squared is 1, which means 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, then minus 1. So we'll have our final answer as 1, which means we have got the composite value of f of g of negative 1, f of g of negative 1. We simply substitute and simplify.